Seyi Sotubo is an Ifaist, born into Ifa about 61 years ago, into both parents of Ifa. In actual fact, my mother died as the Ajigbeda Ifa of Lagos State, while my father died as the Agbongbon Ijo Orunmila Adulawo worldwide of the Diocese of Ijebu, which is called Iledu Ijebu. He retired as the Agbongbon of Iledu Ijebu, and he's also the Olori Omoba, that is the Likotun Akarigbo of Shagam. He's a prince, the head of all the crown prince before he died. That's my father. Then for me as a person, I have never been known to be religious, despite the fact that my father, my both parents were executive members of Ijo Orunmila Adulawo that deals only in Ifa. The Orunmila followers, as the way they call themselves, which was incorporated in Nigeria as an organization far back 1934, with headquarters in number 6, Idumagbo Avenue, Lagos Island those days. But we were attending the one at Mushin, which has been, Mushin Itere Road, number 21 Itere Road those days. And anytime I have the opportunity to follow them as a youngster, I'm always going there to ask questions upon questions about Ifa, the origin of Ifa and all those stuff. So that is the kind of person I am made of, a very curious, bright-minded young boy. And I grew up educationally to have a master's degree in educational psychology, a first degree in University of Ibadan, University of Calabar, with child psychology as first degree. I attended Muslim Teachers College alongside Akim Olajuwon, who played and retired with Houston Rocket here in USA. So in my profession as a teacher, I started out as a primary school teacher, a pupil teacher, because I have a grade 2 back in 1981. I did my NCE to do Greek education before I proceeded to University of Calabar to do child psychology and this thing. So starting out as a primary school teacher in 1981, I eventually retired as a director of education with Lagos State and the principal of Idotun Community Primary School, coincidentally, which is located around where the first indigenous and largest refinery is built by Dangote. That is where my school is located. I don't know whether it's still there because I retired about 7 years ago. That's 2016, July 19, July 8th, 2000, July 1st, no, August 1st. Yes, August 1st, 2016. That was when I retired. Then Ifa asked me to go and contest for the Obership of Shagam. And I did Ifa consultation in July 24, 2016. I did Ifa consultation on my own. That will be the first time I will bring out my Ifa tray and do the necessary physical manipulation of the Ikin, which is called Ikin is referred to as sacred palm nuts. which was handed over to Omila by his younger brother that is known as Osonyi. And that's why when we want to praise Osonyi, we say Osonyi Bikin, Olubikin. Osonyi, it is ye that brought forth a king. That is a sacred palm kernel null. It is he that brought forth palm kernel null or a king. Osonyi Bikin, Olubikin. That is the owner, the Lord beget a king. So having said that, I started the journey of trying to become the Aremo, become the Oba of Shagam, the Akaribo of Shagam. So we were shortlisted to 22. So all of the 22 were put before Ifa, and according to them, I was the choice of Ifa because Ifa was very selective. Ifa was like the next Oba of Akaribo of Shagam must be somebody that is well educated and must be an all-out Ifa practitioner. And of all the lords, while others are either Christian or Muslim or whatever, I was the only person that was, or that still, the only Ifaist among the lords. So the Lord fell on me, but the Afobaje, in their usual practice, that is the kingmakers, they decided to follow money because the person that is there now gave them just 100 million. And it was being supported by Obasanjo, the man, because he was a junior partner with a company that liquidated Muritala Mohammed International Airport and other federal government establishments under under Obasanjo in those days. So Obasanjo has a very strong backing for him. I was able to know this because the the governor of Ogun State then also happened to be a friend and a cousin to my friend, my bosom friend, who is also a billionaire, and his name is Teju Karim. He's the stage maker for all big events in Nigeria and internationally. So he was one that told me that, look, it is not the Oba your cousin, because the Oba, the present Oba Tunde Ajayi, is also a distant relative because we came from the same ruling house anyway. So he told me that we are also contesting against Olusegun Obasanjo. To cut a long story short, I had to, on the advice of Ifa said I should leave them, I should leave the country, that wherever I am, they will always come back to call me to come and take up the position. And I also look at what Ifa said about Olateru Olagbegi, the Olowofo, if Olowofo, Ifa stated categorically, he will rule over for 25 years. He will be sent out of the throne for 25 years, and he will come back 25 years. Everything came to pass. So if that happened, according to what Ifa said, why can't it not happen to me, according to what Ifa said? So that was what brought me to America. I have to run. Because they started all these, you know what I mean, missiles, spiritual missiles, and whatever. But I was very fortified with Ifa. In fact, the principal Irumole in my space anytime is number one is issue. Number 2 is Oromila. And number 3 is Obatala. So at any point, I am protected spiritually by these 3 Iromole. And that is because the Odu that battered me, my spiritual Odu, has those 3 Iromole in their space. That is my story.
What is the crisis of cultural identity?
The crisis of cultural identity can be easily traced into what we call Ifa spirituality. Ifa spirituality. Every human being, I say with all of the might of insight of Ifa knowledge in me, that whether you like it or not, your spirituality is your cultural identity. I repeat, your spirituality is your cultural identity. And every creation is made of Ifa spirituality. Every creation, animate, inanimate, is made of Ifa spirituality. And Ifa spirituality is every individual's cultural identity. How can that be? Let me explain. We all need to know what is Ifa. Ifa is the verbalized energy. Just not verbalized energy, but it is the verbalized energy of life, sound, and light that is breathed, that is transferred from the conservator of energy. The conservator of energy is Olodumare. So it is this energy of life, sound, and light that Olodumare breathed or transferred into all the creations. It is this energy that Olodumare transferred into all the animate and inanimate creation that we found in the universe. If you go to the beach, you will see the Atlantic is making a lot of sound. The Atlantic has highs. The Atlantic has life within it. The Atlantic Ocean has life within it. You go to any mountain, any relief, the relief has the head, it has the eyes, it makes sound. Just place your hand on top of any mountain, you will hear the breath, you hear the sound being made. So talk about animals, talk about human beings, talk about plants. In plants, you talk about phototropism. Phototropism is to show you that plants respond to photo. They follow the movement, they follow sunlight rays, light rays. When you put a plant, you can easily do the experiment. You put a potted plant in a place, cover it, and make a small hole for light rays to come in. You won't be surprised that the plant will start growing towards the direction where light is coming from. That is called phototropism. And these can also be found in incarcerated people in the prison. If the place is dark, you see all of them trying to move towards the light rays, the opening area. So we respond to light. And if you look at your head, if you look at our head, in in Obara Obudi, if I would tell you that Ori is our body as a whole is blessed with 9 orifices, 9 openings to allow the movement of the essence of Olodumare into us. We have the nose, 2 nose. We have the 2 eyes. We have the 2 ears. We have 1 mouth. We have our anus. We have penis and vagina. By the time you make a calculation of all those organs, openings I have mentioned, it will amount to 9. It is there in Ifa. So when you talk about spirituality, everybody has spirituality because everybody, every creation, every animate or inanimate creation has what we call Ori. Ori. And what do we mean by Ori? Ori is a point of communication with our creator, with what we call Eleda, Asheda. Eleda means the sole creator of creation. Eda is creation. If they're animate or inanimate, Eda is creation. Eleda, the sole maker or the sole owner of Eda, of creation. Then Asheda, the producer. Asheda, the producer of creation. And that is Olodumare. So in our Ori is a cage. It's a cage that houses. Our Ori is a cage that houses the spiritual connection, the spiritual part. What do we mean by spiritual part? We are talking about our destiny manifest. Our destiny manifest is housed in our Ori, in individual Ori. In individual Ori, that is our identity. That is our individual identity. That is our individuate identity. That is our particulate identity. Because it is that destiny manifest that contain your time of birth and your time of death. Your circumstances of birth and your circumstances of death is all situated inside that destiny manifest. It is where your purpose on this earth is stated, is spelled out. It is individual. It is your identity. It is who you are. It is who you're going to be. It is what tells you where you are going to be born. Who are the people that are going to parent you? Where and where you will be. Where and when you will be at any given time. That's why we talk about your spirituality being exposed within the context of time and space. Within the context of time and space. That's why I said a while ago that in my own space as an individual, 3 principal irumole or deities or divinities or energies. I call irumole energies. They are the lieutenants of Olodumare, our creator, the sole conservator of energies. These 3 principal energies operate within my own space If you do Itefa or Idafa, that is Ifa initiation or Ifa consultation. Idafa is Ifa consultation, while Ifa initiation is called Itefa. If you do that, you'll be exposed to your purpose in life, your destiny, and the need for you to actualize your destiny. And that's why we refer to Itefa in particular as the exposure to one's destiny. And after being exposed to your destiny, there are three F's. There are three things that you need to do. You find your destiny, you follow your destiny, and you fulfill your destiny. Those are the three steps that you are bound to do when you do Itefa. So it is this Itefa that reveal your own individual, that reveal your own individual Ifa to you. That's why you are born into this world, what you are supposed to do in this world, and what have you. That is your cultural identity. Religion,
Okay, go on.
religion is a secondary in the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of need in psychology. Religion is a second thing. It's not a basic thing. It's on the uh, second rung, in the ladder of hierarchy of need. It's a social need. It's a social need. When you are religious, or when you are religious, or when you belong to a religion organization, it's a social need. People want to know who you are. Are you a Christian or a Muslim or a traditional religionist? Because there is nothing called traditional religion in Ifa. What we have in Ifa is Ifa spirituality. Traditional religion or African ATR or whatever thing they say is being created. It's being created by man, by organizations. So religion is not one's cultural identity. The religion is not one's spirituality. Religion is not one's spirituality because religion is created. Religion is a concept of man. Religion is a man's ideation, but spirituality is not a man's creation. It's not. We are born with it. We are born with spirituality, particularly Ifa spirituality. Every creation that has head, eyes, nose, that can breathe, that can hear, that can respond to stimulus. Every creation is is known to have spirituality. So let me rest my case on that wise.
Now, before I ask the next question, can we safely call you a Babalawo?
You can call me Babalawo if you are to go by the meaning of Babalawo. What does Babalawo literally means? What does Awo means? A simple, translatable, or relatable translation of the term Awo is wise. Awo is wise. So Babalawo is a person that possesses extra knowledge and extra wisdom. So if I am coming out with this knowledge, displaying this kind of wisdom, then I am a Babalawo. But the question here is that Babalawo in Nigeria, in Udua language, spoken in Brazil, in Cuba, other Americas, Babalawo is sent to me to be somebody that is practicing Ifa, somebody that is doing a IFA consultation for people, somebody that is carrying out the spiritual sciences, the spiritual experiment in Ifa. And what are the spiritual experiment in Ifa? That is doing a boriru and doing Igbo Bigba. Igbo Bigba means vote casting in Ifa. That is the origin of democracy. It's another matter for another day. So what I'm saying is that I don't do IDAFA. I don't do IFA consultation for people. And neither do I go out to do this IFA spiritual experiments of Eboriru. I don't do it. Therefore, I am a Babalawo, but I am Atemaki. Redo, Mido, Atemaki.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I'm going to explain that. Atemaki is a very sound Babalawo, but who does not go into the practice.
Okay.
It's just like a lawyer, somebody who read law, who went to law school, but is not practicing as a lawyer.
Okay. But he has the knowledge.
He has the knowledge, okay. So he can teach.
Okay.
He can teach, like some professors of law. They choose not to practice, but to teach law in the university to students of law. So I am an Ifaist, but okay. I am not a practicing Babalawo. Okay. So I am an Atemaki.
Now, let me ask you, what difference or what is the relationship between Olodumare and Ifa?
I have said it in passing. Ifa is the verbalized energy. Ifa is Olodumare in words. Ifa is Olodumare in spoken words. I hope you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm getting you.
If I could say that Ifa is the verbalized energy of life, sound, and light that comes from Olodumare. Who is Olodumare? Olodumare is the ultimate conservator of energies, of all the energies that is manifested and replicated in all creations, be it of animate or inanimate mold. Therefore, how can you separate Ifa from Olodumare? Because it can be easily deduced that Ifa is the voice of Olodumare. If Ifa is seen as a verbalized energy of sound, light, and life. So the question is, what is energy? Energy in its raw form is life of performance, life of action, movement, action like movement, sound. Energy is action. Every object, according to Newton, is observation. Every object is at a permanent state of a stationary state. Every object is at a stationary state, unless, and of course, when it is acted upon when motion is introduced into it, either internally or externally, it moves. It moves. That is, if the temperature of that object is raised within, there will be a movement, there will be a motion. If that object is acted upon externally, there will be a movement, there will be a motion. And that is what we call energy in the simplest and rawest form of it. That's what we call energy. So we, as creation, if we don't have that energy from Olodumare, from the conservator Olodu. Olodu means somebody who conserved energy in a container, which is called Udu, pot. Then the other question you need to ask is the role of Eshu in all of this. Okay. The role of Eshu. Eshu is simply the energy, the kinetic energy. Eshu is the kinetic energy that moves the whole universe. The whole universe. Let me give you a scenario. A scenario of an uninformed person. Somebody decided to commit a crime and he was caught. And he was caught and he was made to face the music. And the very first form of defense coming out from this person is Ishe Ishunio, is the handiwork of Eshu. Do you know that person is right?
Really?
That person is right. The only problem with that person is that by the time he landed in success, doing positive things, he became a billionaire after playing this thing, after playing a jackpot or whatever. He became an instant billionaire. Would that person say Ishe Ishunyo? No, that's a mistake. When in actual fact, Ishe Ishuni, Eshu is in between good and bad.
Yeah.
Eshu is called luck. Eshu is called luck. Eshu is between your decision. Eshu is in the middle of your decision. Eshu is the energy behind what we call decision-making process. That's why in Ifa, Eshu is seen as Obelekun Sunkun, Obalayo Yayo. Ẹlẹ́kùn sun ẹ̀jẹ̀, ẹlẹ́kùn sunkún, láàárọ̀yè ń sun ẹ̀jẹ̀. That is the extent to which, that's why we know is the executor of our decisions.
In some religions, Eshu is believed to be Satan.
It's just like a talking drum. A talking drum has two opposites, two hands of similar description. In Ifa, we talk about a coin, tibitire. A coin bears both opposites, good and bad. That's a coin. And that is issue for you too. That's issue for you too. So if you toss a coin severally and the coin comes out with a tail, let's hypothetically make the tail to be the bad, make the head to be the good. So when you're tossing a given coin severally, and it continues to give you the tail, the bad, you will soon come to the conclusion that that one is Satan, that one is wicked, it is wicked, and whatever. That is a common sense explanation of it. But those people, those religions, those Abraham faiths that decided to tag Yeshua Satan, they cleverly, cunningly, wickedly did that in order to demonize our spirituality, in order to demonize our culture, in order to be able to promote and sell their fake religion that they were trying to introduce to our forefathers those days. And immediately, like people from Ijegba, where I am from, Remo, and Egba people, we were much more educated, because anybody that has Ifa has raw civilization, raw wisdom, knowledge. We have seen this thing before they came with their own brand of civilization or colonization or religionization and whatever. We have added. And that's why we told them that, look, the Ijegbas, the Ijeshas, and whatever, we are raw, we are law-abiding people, we are peaceful, loving people. So we want to see the knowledge you have brought to us, but you cannot use that knowledge to obliterate our spirituality, our cultural practices. And that's why they gave that sound, that song. Èmi yóò ṣòro ilé mi o, èmi yóò ṣòro ilé mi o. Ẹ̀sìn kan ò pé káwa má ṣòro ilé wa o. Ẹ̀sìn kan ò pé káwa má ṣòro. That was how they were able to put in a little bit of protest.
I think we have a minute to go. Now that you have come, I believe we'll still continue the conversation.
All right.
Sometime in the future. Because it's been very revealing, and I thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So much. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.